Well, fine. This time I'm gonna leave you.
Okay.
You sound so broken up about it. Recap of Camden State Park. Overall, I thought it was a great park.
It is a great park.
Yes.
Absolutely. And it was absolutely gorgeous. And they had everything.
They did. They had all of the things that we look for in a state park. We are in a lovely state park. I'm gonna get up. I have my hat, I have my water bottle. I'm just gonna go for a walk, and maybe when I get back in a couple hours, my husband and son will be up and ready to go. Mosquitoes! I am off of the prairie and back into the woods of the river valley, and as you can see, there are a few more bugs in the woods than there were on the prairie. But I've been walking for a little bit over an hour, and I have not seen a single other person while I have been out here. This is craziness. What are you doing with your time, people? There were plenty of people though in the campgrounds. There were plenty of people at the swimming hole, but for some reason people are just not out here hiking the trails, and I don't get it. There are so many bridges across this river. It is such a windy little river. This is the Redwood River. It goes back and forth and back and forth, and there have got to be, I don't know, a dozen different bridges over this river in Camden State Park. You know, I talk and talk and talk about how awesome Minnesota state parks do with all of their signage. So when you're out hiking, it's really hard to get lost. But I am not kidding. Every freaking time, somehow I miss a turn or I go the wrong way, and I end up in a place where I'm not exactly lost, but I don't really know where I am. And of course, it just happened again. So what I do know was that I was intending to hop onto a trail at the South Picnic Grounds, and I just went past the South Picnic Grounds, and I didn't see a trail. So now I'm walking on the road, which is so not a problem. Oh, and I'm coming up on yet another bridge. But the issue is I need to figure out how to get myself back to the campground. I think I'm just gonna follow the road and we'll see where we end up. All right then.
San just came back from her walk. At first I thought she had a leech on her leg or something, but turns out it's just mud from the trails.
Yeah, so there were a couple of parts of the trail that might have been just a little bit underwater.
A little bit underwater.
We left our campsite at 1 o'clock. It is currently 1:30 and we have almost made it to the front of the park where the Camden State Regional Trail starts. Dave was really struggling after making it up that last big hill inside the park. He was about ready to give up. He was really tired and not in a great mood. You know when he starts swearing, but he's not in a good mood. So I decided to kind of slow it down, told him to go ahead. Once we got to the flat ground, he was just off and running. I tend to go a little bit slower on the flat ground just because I have the bike trailer behind me here.
The wind is pushing me and I'm going downhill. On the way back I'm going to be going against the wind uphill the whole way.
Water break. Dave passed out on the ground. Dave is abandoning me.
See ya.
Oh, baby waking up. Hi, baby. He's giving up on the bike ride.
I'm calling for a taxi.
Some people. All right, the wind out here is really bad though, so he's gonna grab a taxi and go get the truck and pick up his bike, and then by then we'll see how far Thor and I have gotten, but he is still asleep. So we are just gonna keep trying to motor on through and see how far we can get on this bike trail. I'm dropping the phone. I hate to admit defeat, but I think I'm gonna give up too. I made it a couple miles further than Dave did, but the wind is pushing against me. So even when the ground is flat, I'm having to pedal really, really hard against the wind. And then I also have a little boy here who is not very happy in the back of the bike trailer. He was asleep for a long time, but just woke up. I found a good resting spot at a park here. I'm just gonna stop and wait for Dave to come back and pick me up. He's in the taxi right now on the way back to the state park. And so ends our bike ride. So we gave up.
So, yes, we did.
Be nice. It's Sunday morning at 11 a.m. and I keep seeing everybody else roll out of the campground because I think it is officially checkout time.
We might be a little late today.
I think so. So it's 11. We are finally just getting going. We finished our breakfast and now we are off. We're gonna head over to the hiking club trail. When do we ever meet checkout time, he says. I'm all like, come on, let's get going, let's move. I wanna hike, I wanna do fun things this morning. Dave was like, nope.
When do we ever meet checkout time?
Nope.
It won't be so busy at the dumping station then.
Let's be lazy. Let's take our time. It's a state park. It's not like they're gonna kick us out, right? Now, you may recall that Saturday morning I went for a hike all by myself. And I first hopped onto the hiking club trail because it's right here next to the campground. But when I came to a fork in the path, I decided to follow the Bluebird Trail, instead of the hiking club trail. Because I figured it would be no fair at all to Dave if I did the hiking club trail all by myself and you missed out on the fun.
That would be horrible.
I know.
You know, me missing out on a hike or a bike ride.
It was a little hilly, and I remember how much you love all those hills. So I wanted to make sure that you had the opportunity to do those all on your own. See how much I love you?
Thank you.
You're so
I love
welcome.
you too.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
You can't really see, but there really are swarms of, like, clouds of mosquitoes here. But we're at the bottom of a creek. It's just rained. There's a lot of stagnant water here, as you can see. I mean, it's super muddy. This is the trail. This section of the hiking club trail is just beautiful. Waterfall after tiny little waterfall after, you know, just babbling brook over and over and over again. It's so pretty.
It is. It's beautiful. Yeah. Uphill the whole way.
You are correct. It has been uphill the whole way. That just means we'll go downhill on the way back. For me right now, this is perfection. We just hiked through the river valley next to a babbling stream. We're up on the top of the prairie right now. There are a couple of trees that are just on the edge of the prairie that we're hanging out under, enjoying the shade. There's a very nice brisk breeze. Oh, I love this. Yeah, that's a tired kid back there is what that is. Oh, yeah. Am I talking about you? Yeah. Yeah, smiley boy. Yeah. I think he has fallen asleep for real this time.
Yes. Oh, I think we need to
Yep.
put
the head strap up so that his head isn't flopping all over the place as we walk and he naps.
There's going to be one over here.
Yep.
Okay, there we go.
Alrighty. So there he is, all tucked in. His head won't flop back when I stand up now. We made it up the hill out of the river valley. We've been hiking on the edge of the prairie right here for a little ways, and it looks like we're about to head maybe back into the river valley and go back down.
Yay.
Yay!
Down. It's a little hard to see, but somebody has erected a castle out in the middle of the prairie. That's probably about the size of the castle that I could afford.
What are you talking about? Your castle is like 3 times the size of that castle right there, and you are headed straight back to it. It is parked in the campground right now.
And it has air conditioning.
Yes,
Yay!
That is your new castle. We are headed down.
We are going downhill.
Woohoo!
Now I can roll.
I will videotape that in a hot second.
Well, I'm not planning on rolling, but if I happen to fall, just stay out of my way because I might not be able to stop.
You are kidding me. We just did the entire hiking club trail. You will see it says end here.
All 50 miles of it.
Where was the sign with our password? We looked everywhere on the trail. We did not see the sign with the password.
I guess.
So now we have to go butter up the ranger or something?
Or we just start here and go that way.
Oh.
Do it again.
I'd do it again. Do you want to do it again?
No. No.
All right. Camden State Park. Overall, I thought it was a great park.
It is a great park.
Yes.
Absolutely. And it was absolutely gorgeous. And they had everything.
They did. They had all of the things that we look for in a state park. It had a great campground with electrical hookups. It had a cute little swimming pond with a beach that was small and cleanish water. It had great hiking trails, which is something that we always look for and is important to us. What else did it have?
It had the biking trails.
Oh, the bike trail, which is also something that we look for and we love.
But it had a combination of, as far as the outdoors goes, it had a combination of forest. It had creeks and rivers and waterfall, not huge waterfalls, but little
small,
waterfalls and babbling brooks, and spring-fed. That swing hole was spring-fed. Plus, there is the Redwood River that runs right through there as well. I mean, so there was a combination of forest land and prairie land and rivers and streams and you name it. It was there.
And for people who enjoy fishing, there were plenty of fishing opportunities as well. It wasn't real great when we happened to be there because, again, the theme of our camping so far this summer has been flooding. Lots and lots of rain. So the river was really high. It was very brown. There were rapids where normally there are not rapids. So the fishing was not real great.
So yeah, I would say also the dumping station was not as nice as the newer one that we just experienced.
Oh, at Lake Chautauqua?
At Lake Chautauqua,
Yeah.
yes. It was a fine dumping station. It did
the job?
It did the job. It wasn't concrete or tar where you drive, so there was mud from the previous people who had gone through, so it was a little bit muddy.
Okay, so what I would say about the Camden Regional Bike Trail is that it is a lovely trail. It's got lots of rolling hills. It's pretty. It's scenic. It is just what I look for in a bike trail. It's got benches here and there. There are a couple of bike repair stations along the way, so if you happen to need air in your tire or you need a wrench to fix something, there are repair stations right there for you to use, which is fantastic. And what else I would say is that the section that goes from Camden State Park to, it's basically kind of the Wayside Rest Park right outside of Marshall. That part is perfect, wonderful, great. If you're gonna go on this trail, go in that section, but stop there. Once you get into Marshall, the trail is like soul-suckingly boring. It will show you the very best parts of Marshall's, industrial section.
Yes. Yeah.
You go past waste management and you go past all, just like these huge industrial buildings, but it is boring and it is flat and there is nothing pretty to look at. And the trail isn't really that great either.
No, you end up on sidewalk eventually.
Yeah.
And then we hit the spot where it was closed because it was underwater.
Right. So once again, we were foiled by the flooding, and a big section of the trail, once you get into Marshall, is actually underwater, so there was no way that we could go forward. But if you are going to do the trail, I recommend you just stop right there anyway. Don't even go into Marshall because it's just boring and flat and nothing.
Now be sure to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell.
Now I'm saying videotaping and I'm saying so.
I think maybe you're spending too much time around me.
Maybe.